Hello everyone, it's Navi, and today we're going to be talking about why so many idols are being hated for drinking Starbucks and eating at McDonald's, because it's really not as simple as it sounds. This all started a couple days ago when people started noticing a huge group of idols suddenly posing with Starbucks and McDonald's, even though there is an active boycott going on since they've been exposed for supporting Zionism and the genocide of Palestinian people. I've been thinking a lot about whether or not I should be posting this video and think that this is the most I've ever been intimidated to, because at the moment it looks like I'm holding the unpopular opinion, and because of that I don't want people to misinterpret the intentions of this video. I don't want people to think that I don't care and that I'm some crazy obsessed fan looking for excuses so that I can keep on standing them, because that's not what I'm trying to do at all. I just don't think it's right to assume that every idol had bad intentions or use this situation to fan the flames of fan wars like I've been seeing on Twitter and TikTok for the past few days, so that's why I'm taking a deeper look into the situation in this video. Being upset and feeling betrayed is understandable and of course valid, but there are a huge group of stans who are seeing these idols with the Starbucks cup in their hand and automatically assume that they are horrible people, which is not fair in the slightest. I know some people think that these idols are being paid to promote these brands, but I doubt it since they're always open about these type of things. Wonyoung, for example, just announced his collaboration with McDonald's during the worst time ever to do so, and he still stated it clearly. But I'm not going to jump to conclusions and say that he's a terrible person, because there's a good chance that he not only signed the contract but also did the photo shoot for it months before the actual boycott even started, and he can't just drop out of a project like that after the contracts are signed. But they're so strict about covering up brands all the time, so they're definitely showing it off on purpose all at once, right? Well, one thing I've noticed in my 8 years of being a K-pop fan is that there are certain brands and products that most companies are more lenient with showing, and McDonald's and Starbucks just happen to be one of them. Most of the strictness is centered around fashion and cosmetic brands, usually but not limited to when they perform on music shows and variety shows. And a possible reason why it seems like they're all doing it at once is because it's literally one of the 3 most popular months for Starbucks in the year, so it's not unusual to see a Starbucks cup in an idol's hands at this point of the year. And this kind of feels like deja vu, because just a month ago, these same stans were going on witch hunts to see which idol had watched Made in Abyss and called them horrible people too, only to come to the conclusion that we all intake problematic media and it's not the viewer's fault but the creators and the industry that allowed for it to be created in the first place. You guys stopped attacking those idols and now are on to the next thing. New controversy, same pattern, because whenever something new happens, critical thinking immediately goes out the window. Like I said earlier, being upset is understandable, but I don't think seeing someone drinking or eating at these places makes them a Zionist or means that they want the genocide to happen. It just speaks to how ignorant they are, willingly or not. Personally, I know that I can only judge people I know in my life who I interact with regularly, because I know them well enough to know their intentions and whether or not they truly care about the damage they're doing once they know about it, or even if they do know about it. But I can't make as accurate a judgment about idols, and neither should you. The K-pop industry is known for forcing fake personas all the time, to the point it's a well-known joke for K-pop stans. And that's just one of the examples of how at the end of the day we will truly never know who these idols actually are or what they believe in. We don't know how they feel about a lot of political or social issues unless they speak out on it, and whether they do speak out on it or not is based on so many factors. For one, the K-pop industry is known for how controlling it can be over their idols, making decisions like how much they eat to how they act to what they speak out about, so there's a chance that they're not allowed to speak out on it since they're neither expected or wanted to talk about political or social issues in or outside of their country, because these companies don't want them to rock the boat. Well, so-and-so spoke out, so why can't they? Simple. Different companies or different stages of their career and different rules. One thing I've noticed the most is that English-speaking idols, especially if they're from smaller companies, can get away with more stuff. So that's why you're seeing them speak out on these subjects while their other non-English speaking coworkers don't. Then two, it's also likely that they don't even know about some of these boycotts. But before you type, they're grown adults, they know what's going on. First, listen to what I just said. They most definitely know about the protests and what's going on in Gaza, but there's certainly a chance that they don't know that there are certain brands like Starbucks and McDonald's, for example, that are being boycotted, and that's because the posts about the boycotts are mostly centered around English-speaking young adults and teenagers who are more active online, and also the fact that the internet is such a huge place. It's as simple as my sister referencing a TikTok and me having no idea what she's talking about because because we are on two different sides of the internet. What's trending for her at the moment probably won't even hit my For You page until next week or vice versa. And even in the moments where our sides do cross over at the same time, like the boycotts for example, other people like my parents and cousins still don't even know that they're happening until I tell them, because that's just how diverse the internet is. Shit, I didn't even know about some of the more brands we were supposed to be boycotting till yesterday. So that just speaks more to how even though these idols definitely know what's going on, that doesn't automatically mean they know that they're supposed to be boycotting these specific brands. Lastly, and what I think is the worst case scenario, is that there's also a good chance that even if they do know about it, some of them just don't want to talk about it. Whether they don't care or agree or just don't want to lose business opportunities, even if they're given a chance to, there's some of them who will still choose not to. And that's a very real and extremely disappointing possibility. But that's not really the problem in all of this. It's the fact that most of us always assume the last option first. So this has turned into yet another witch hunt where we are pointing fingers at the idols more than we are at the actual companies who directly supported Israel in the first place. And that just sounds so performative to me, because a lot of you are looking for praise for boycotting but aren't receiving any because there's no physical proof of it, so you've just found another way to get attention. Similar to how people would just order then drive away without paying at the beginning of the boycott, it sounds more like stans just want to show off how good of a person them and their idol is compared to others, and are using this to fuel stupid fan wars. But just like those people at the drive-thru, you're not hurting the actual people who did the damage, you're hurting the person who just happened to show up for work that day. And on an even sadder level, I'm thinking some people are using this as a way to take out their frustration over all of this. I mean, we're watching people suffer and die every single day, and even after putting so much effort to help them, we're still not doing much to change their situation. I get it, because I felt the same way, but at the end of the day, these idols do not deserve to be our punching bags just because they're the closest thing we can attack. Like I said before, not only did my parents not know about some of these brands that we were supposed to be boycotting, but I didn't even know half of them, even when I was trying to keep up with everything. And I guarantee when showing you them all here, you haven't been either. So I'm thinking, if I can't even perfectly follow these standards that I didn't even know about, and neither can those around me, how can I expect people I don't know to know as well? How can I tell their intentions? I can't, and neither can you, and that's why it's not fair to assume them good or bad. So that's why I'm not going around searching for idols who aren't participating in boycotts, and that's why I'm encouraging you to stop doing so as well. Continue to boycott and educate those who are unaware instead of screaming at them, because that doesn't make them learn. It only creates resentment and fuels ignorance.